All right, I have two questions so far on 12.1 Form G. We're going to start with number 13, and the other question is for number 20. So if we take a look at number 13, the directions say TY and ZW are diameters of circle S. And we know that TU and UX are tangents of circle S. What is the measurement of angle SYZ? Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to mark the angle that I want to find, which is right here, just so I have an idea, because there's a lot going on in this picture, and I want to make sure that I'm able to identify the information I need to get to where I need to be. I want to talk to you about a couple things here. Yeah, they mentioned that we have two diameters in circle S. It is obviously this line here and this line here. They're both diameters of the circle, okay? But I think the more important thing that it tells me in the directions is that UT and UX are both tangents to that circle. Now, that's important because think back to our theorem in our notes that says if a line is tangent to a circle, okay, then where the radius intersects and meets that point of tangency, it creates a right angle. So I have a right angle at STU, okay? And in looking in this, I have a triangle. And the reason why I kind of turned my attention there to begin with is the fact that the only piece of information they gave me was that this angle was 32 degrees, okay? So if I should go back and highlight now this triangle here, I have 32 degree angle, I have a 90 degree angle. So if I take my 32 plus 90 and I guess plus x and set that equal to 180 because there's 180 degrees in a triangle. Okay. That gives me 122 plus x equals 180. And that tells me that x is 58 degrees. So I'm going to erase this. And what that did was that told me that this angle is 58 degrees. Okay? Now, why is that important? Well, because I'm getting closer to this triangle, which is the one in which they're asking me the angle. Well, this angle and this angle are vertical angles. So that tells me that this angle is also 58 degrees. Now this is where it gets kind of, you really have to pay attention, and you really have to read your theorems and your information in your notes. SZ and SY are both radii of circle S. Okay? Therefore, they are congruent. They have to be. Okay, remember that little theorem or a little catch in there that says all radii of a circle are congruent if they're the radii of the same circle. So that makes triangle SZY an isosceles triangle. It's not an equilateral, but it is an isosceles triangle. We don't know that this is congruent to the other two pieces, but if it's an isosceles triangle, take your 180 and minus from it your 58, and you get 122. Okay? So when you do that, you are left with, you have 122, and then you have two angles that are congruent. One of them is the one you need, so divide your 120 by 2. So divide 122 by 2, and you get 61 degrees for both of these angles. Okay? So, a little bit of triangle angle sum theorem, but the big ticket item here was that this was a right angle, and then your vertical angles allowed you to know that these are both 58 degrees, and then the triangle that's created by radii of the circle is isosceles, therefore angle Z and angle Y were congruent to get your 61 degrees there. Now moving on to number 20, I've already outlined this. It says the design of a banner at the right includes a circle with a 12-inch diameter. Using the measurements given in the diagram, explain whether the lines shown are tangent to the circle or not. Okay. Well, the triangle I highlighted is the exact same triangle that is not highlighted. So it doesn't matter which one you look at. Okay, those are the same. I just happen to see this one. So here's the deal. In order for them to be tangent, this has to be a right angle. And the way you find out if that's a right angle or a right triangle is you just apply the Pythagorean theorem. And truthfully, the only thing that I think would make this challenging is that it's broken up into parts, the hypotenuses, but they told you each length, which made this math a lot much simpler. So to do this, okay, my two legs, one of them is 12, so 12 squared plus 16 squared has to equal, now the 21 comes from 6, and 6 is 12. 12 plus 9 is 21 squared. Okay, when you do this, you get 144 plus 256 has to equal 21 squared, which is 441. Okay, when you add your 144 plus your 256, this gives you 400. And 400 does not equal 441. Therefore, these lines are not tangent to that circle. All right, if you have any other questions, please shoot me an email. Otherwise, we'll be moving on to 12.2. That will be posted on Wednesday. Have a good night.